Listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome.
Hey.
You have just tuned in to UStyle Magazine
Girl,
Talk Radio Show.
You better say something.
Another amazing Sunday. We're here.
Give me some.
We are here.
That's right.
So this is your beautiful queen, your host,
Bridget Davis.
and I am your co-host, the next beautiful queen, Lonnie.
My boo.
Yes. So how was this amazing weekend that you got going
You know
on?
what? My weekend has been very low-key.
Low-key? Okay.
Nothing exciting going on. Nothing really, just kind of resting and taking it easy.
Okay.
I was supposed to head up to New York for, they were having a media and music conference in New York Saturday, but I didn't make it, so I'm a little disappointed at that. But nevertheless, I'm here.
We're here. We are here in the building.
That's right. Thank you guys for joining us, of course, for another amazing Sunday as usual. We are always excited to help you guys get your week started.
We are excited. Today, this guest is going to just come, going to enlighten you, going to educate you. So we excited.
Exactly.
About him.
I'm definitely interested in hearing what he has to say.
Yes.
You know, he's doing some amazing things for a lot of people that I think this will really touch.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the Washington metropolitan area alone, there are a lot of people that have been affected.
Oh, yeah.
By loved ones being incarcerated and returning home. So,
and what does that process look like?
Exactly,
you know?
Exactly. So this is going to be an amazing show. I'm looking forward to it. How about you?
Looking forward to it. I'm excited because I want to be educated as well.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
What that looks like.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to it. What you got going on?
Well, I know I'm tired because the last 2 weeks I've been having so much choreography going on.
I know, you're rolling.
Here, I'm there.
You're rolling.
Speaking engagements and book signings.
Exactly.
It's a great thing. It's a good busy.
Let me tell you, and I'm gonna tell you, I've been busy. I think I ordered everybody's books in 1 week.
Look, I'm waiting on Sassy book now.
Yes.
I'm hunting the mail lady down. Got my book.
I just finished up Sassy Harrison's book today. So kudos, Sassy. You did an amazing job, girl. Congratulations.
She is amazing.
Congratulations. This is your moment, honey. So live in it and enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I finished your book. I finished Stephanie's book. I'm overloaded with everybody's stuff. I think I want to write a book now.
Okay. Yes. We have inspired the queen.
Yes.
Time to write.
Exactly. So you guys stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We want to take a quick break, get our guests situated, and when we return, we will be welcoming Mr. Eric Weaver. He's with the National Association of the Advancement of Returning Citizens. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back in 2 shakes.
Yes.
Listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio. Listen vision. Listen vision, listen vision, listen vision, listen vision. DC's number.
Hey, you guys, welcome back, welcome back. We are sitting here with our guest for the hour, Mr. Eric Weaver.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. He's sitting here acting like you're nervous. I don't know why.
He ain't nervous.
Nah, I ain't nervous.
Right.
Got two beautiful women sitting on the side of him. He ain't nervous.
Not at all.
So what's going on?
It's Sunday. I'm good. I'm excited. Was looking forward to coming on here with two beautiful ladies and to talk about the things going on with.
Awesome. Awesome. We are definitely glad to have you.
Yes.
We are definitely glad to have you. So you are with the National Association of Advancement for Returning Citizens.
Correct.
Okay. Explain to us exactly what that means.
So, I like to say our motto, or our slogan is to educate, organize, and mobilize the returned citizen population and their families. So that's initially what I try to do, just first of all, educate them. And then, I do a whole lot of advocating throughout the city, just trying to make sure that our issues are at the front of a whole lot of tables where we normally won't. So being a voice for the people that don't have a voice, a lot of the ones that's incarcerated, and then making sure when they get out here that they have someone that they can come talk to and help navigate through some of the barriers that they go through.
Exactly. Let me ask you this, because this was really my main question, and I'm sure Lonnie has some questions too, but this was really like my main question. Why are you so passionate about this? A lot of times, in some of our communities, our loved ones that go away to prison, it's kind of like a taboo subject that you don't really want to talk about. It's kind of like hush, hush. But why are you so passionate about this?
Well, just looking at my own situation, and so, most people that know me know I did 22 years. So I went in when I was young, just before I turned 18, and came home just before I turned 40.
Wow.
And then my son, who was born after I was in, and when I came home, he was in.
Oh, wow.
And so actually, this little time we've been together, these last 4 months are the first 4 months we ever been together out here. And he'd be 30 this year.
Wow.
So, but just stuff like that, but just seeing what's going on out here and look at re-entry from the time I came home to now, and seeing that it hasn't a lot changed, and wanting better for him when he got released.
Exactly.
And a lot of the guys that were locked up with me wanted them to have a better opportunity than I had. So,
Exactly.
and I don't even know how I actually got here. When I was in, I never thought that I would be out here.
I know, because I was going to ask you that. Did you ever think while you were counting down the days that this would be something that you would be fighting for once you were released?
Not at all. But I couldn't see me doing nothing else now. Like, I wouldn't do nothing else.
Exactly. So what are the concerns when you sit down and you talk to, some of our returning citizens from incarceration? What are some of the concerns that you get from them that they say?
Well, of course, the basic stuff is just being able to survive out here. And, there's so much, stigma behind it, and so many different barriers behind, mainly everybody want a job when they come home.
Exactly.
And you want a place to live, and, you want to be doing all these type of things. And so without having a job, without having that, the means, that's their biggest issue, how they gonna survive. And so most guys, their initial thought when they come out here is to try to do the right thing.
Right.
That's their initial thought. I don't know too many guys that's in jail saying, I can't wait to get back out there to
continue what I got. You're right. You are
so
exactly
the
right.
initial thought
You're
is,
exactly
I want to come out, I want to do right, I want to get me a woman, I want to be with my woman, I want to be with my kids, I want a job, I want a house, I want a car. They got the American dream when they first come out.
Exactly.
But it's just when they get all those rejections, and they get discouraged, and then
you fall back.
That's why.
Yeah, the pitfalls.
So a lot of times, with return citizens, a lot of people like to look at the what. You committed this crime. We already know the what. We know how you did it. We know where you did it. But we don't look at the why.
Exactly.
So I think everybody could be a returned citizen. I don't know if you all got kids or however, but if you lost your job, you didn't have a place to stay, your kids were hungry, you go in the store, it's a loaf of bread right there.
You're going to go into survival mode.
You're going to get that bread. It
You are
changes out. If
exactly
you get
right.
caught now, you're a return
Return to
citizen.
citizen.
You are exactly right. You're
Happen
right.
to anybody.
Yeah, so that's what we got to focus more on the why.
Exactly. So what type of programs are you guys helping?
So I do a lot well, the biggest thing with DC, because DC is so unique, when we talk about voting, like guys need to understand what is called political capital, meaning that, we can vote. Like soon as you come out, if it was an election tomorrow, we can vote. So it's over 60,000 returned citizens in D.C. That's enough to affect any one of these elections.
But you know what? And I think that's a very good subject to touch on, because a lot of people that are returning from long stints of incarcerations, they think they can't vote.
I thought it.
Right,
I
exactly.
thought it before I came home. I didn't know I could, because that's all you ever hear. You lose your rights, you never be able to vote
Exactly.
again. But D.C. is so unique. Maryland just started maybe last year, 2 years ago. But D.C. is so unique where if the election is tomorrow, you can vote. And if you have D.C. jail and you have a misdemeanor, or you haven't been sentenced, convicted yet, or you can vote from up to jail. So I actually go into jail and register them and cast their ballot for them inside the jail.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
So
good
do
to
you
know.
find that you get a lot of even inmates that want to participate and they want to vote and they want to register, or are they kind of like nonchalant? I mean, let's be honest.
I think to be honest, no.
Right.
To be honest, no, I agree. To be honest, and I think that's because we, us as a race, we don't vote. So you ain't got to be.
Right.
So we ain't educated. So
You're
like
right.
when
You're right.
when Obama ran, everybody came out and voted. So for real, they got scared. They like, oh, they woke. They voting
They
now.
woke.
Exactly. You're
But
exactly
then
right.
look what just happened now. So they just voted because it was a black man in office. We ain't really
Yeah.
vote to try to make
Exactly.
change, because look who we got in
Yeah.
office now.
Exactly.
And so people feel like, man, I ain't gonna vote because it ain't gonna change
It ain't gonna
nothing.
matter.
Right.
But one thing I know, if you don't vote, you're right, it ain't gonna change. Now, we don't know what's gonna happen if we do vote, but we
Right.
know what's gonna happen if we don't.
don't.
Right.
So-
And they need to know that.
Yeah.
They need to know, when because I know that there have definitely been, disparity as far as, the long prison sentences, that people have been fighting against for such a long time. But also people have to realize that if you don't vote, you can't help change.
I mean, and
that
it's
situation.
It's a numbers game. It's so easy when we talk about 60,000 returned citizens, mainly in like Ward 8 and Ward 7, where it's nothing to get a returned citizen to be that council member, because all it is having enough beating out the next person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, and we got to see that. Like I don't know nothing that's more of our power move, as far as being a returned citizen, than that political capital being active in the voting.
Exactly.
'Cause
And
then
you said you went away and you did 22 years. Like, what was your biggest challenge coming home?
I think my biggest challenge, and I didn't realize it at the time, was just trauma and just because when you go in, you shut down all your emotions. So you come out here and you just so hard, and and not having good social skills. So people were saying, "Hey, how you doing?" And I just would say, "Hey," but not, "Oh, I'm doing good," but not, "Hey, how are you doing?"
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just having no
Exactly.
social skills, because in jail you ain't doing a
You
whole
ain't
lot.
doing
Exactly.
Hey,
No
how
eye
are you?
contact. It's just,
so-
you're right.
yeah.
Social skills are just dead. You're
Yeah,
right.
so that was, even though I had good family support, I had people met me at the gate, and I had, employment opportunities, and I feel like, because I got 2 college degrees, I got 5 trades, maybe
Oh,
50
wow.
certificates. So I had that part, but still, it was like the social skills, and not even, I never heard the word trauma when I was in jail. And so not just understanding what trauma was and realizing that, okay, you went to jail at 17, you 39, but you got the experience out here in society as a 17-year-old. So I started seeing myself doing some things I did when I was 17, and it was like deja vu, and I'm like,
Oh, wow.
what's going on? Yeah, what's going on? But then when I
Childhood.
really just analyzed it, like, my maturity is in jail. Like, I know every step of the way in jail, but out here,
Oh, my goodness.
I'm a
Yeah.
17-year-old as far as experience. I don't, as far as dealing with women, as far as employment, rejection, family, all that. So those the challenges that we really got to think about when we talk about guys coming on. And all those guys that went in the 80s and the 90s when they did the 25 to 30 of their life, them the guys coming home now.
Gee, and they're completely clueless.
Yeah.
Clueless. Well, do you offer classes on social
Right.
and
That was
yeah,
my
like
question.
how
And
to
I
transition?
stayed with these in my pocket. So I do this
Yeah, and I seen this
So
on
it's
online, this support group.
Yeah, so it's a support group, and that's the main thing that does help, because I go up to the halfway house a lot of times, and I see so many of the guys who just come home from 20 and 30, and they so like aggressive with the way they talk and the way they walk, and I know you can't walk up on like that.
Exactly.
And also I just see some lostness in the eyes, some spacey, like, and it's scary. So I'm like, nah, I need to get these brothers in this room, and we need to talk. You need to talk to people who was in your situation, who have success as far as navigating through this, and we need to let you know, and you need to tell us what your issues are, what you having problems with, and we need to talk and work this out.
Because that's what I was going to ask you. Do you offer like one-on-one, so to speak, counseling? Because I know a lot of people, they don't like to share their emotions and stuff in front of a group of people. I mean,
my phone. My cell phone. Look. I get calls 2:00 in the morning. I get all types of calls.
You in it to win it.
All day, all night. I get calls and they're like, man, I just looked at my girl phone. What I'm gonna do? And
right. Exactly.
So I get it all. I just got a guy called the other day, like, man, they not put me in a transition house. They try and put me in a shelter, man. I want to take a drink.
Oh, wow.
So I got to talk people down all the time. So I, as an individual, this is my life. So, but far as the group, we got other people who are just as successful with me and understand this. And we do mentoring for our population as well, one-on-ones, as well as had this group.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, I know you talked about trauma, and Lonnie deals a lot with childhood traumas, a lot. And I know that just listening to you, this can be an aspect of childhood trauma, not just for you at going in at 17, but you had a child.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
So do you think that you being incarcerated for so long has caused an effect on your child as well?
Oh, for sure. So, and me and him probably never really had this conversation, but even when he was coming up, growing up in the same neighborhood that I grew up in, and every time he did something, all everybody ever said was, "You're gonna be just like your father, boy.
Wow.
You bad. You're gonna be just like your father."
Yeah.
So now that's
It's a stigma.
That's what they want to be.
The label
And
that's
so,
put on you.
And then I did. I was somewhere maybe a week or two ago, and it was inside DC jail, and the question was asked, how many people in here were raised, or what there wasn't a male, or your father wasn't in their household. Every single person in there raised their hand.
Unbelievable.
My God.
Every single. So those things, we got to look at that. Them the wise that I'm talking about. Those the wise.
Exactly.
Like, it ain't enough men.
It's
All the men
okay.
gone.
They gone.
All the men are gone. And
So do you touch, like when you go into, like you said, you went to DC jail and you spoke to, people that didn't have fathers around. Do you think that there should be some type of, I guess maybe class or some type of
I think it's more of the healing.
support group there before these individuals even come home, so that they're able to relate more so with their children?
And there
that they
are
left
some,
behind?
I know a couple of friends of mine, they're doing, I think it's called Fatherhood Initiative or something, where they going in there and they talking about those things. So it's definitely a start, but I think as a whole, we all got to look at that, like, when they're in working on it, but also making sure we accept them. We got a lot of bitter people, bitter mothers or whatever that, still keeping these men away from these kids. So as a whole, we got to, figure out how we accept these men, because, like I say, when they first come home, their initial thought is to do the right thing. So we got to accept and we got to embrace that, and, we got to.
Because I know us women, first thing we want to say, well, you wasn't here. I did all these years with him. You wasn't nowhere around. So, I know that
and you already feeling bad.
Yeah, you already feeling bad.
You already feel that
and
shame.
and so much they tell you can't live here, you can't get this job, you can't do this. So.
Exactly. So did you go through those pitfalls as far as even work?
Well, during the time I first came home, I had a reputation being in as teaching and working with the younger population, the GED. So Peaceaholics, which was open at the time,
awesome.
and Ron Moe and Wally, they
Exactly.
actually came and was like, man, we heard about you, man, we want you to come. So I didn't have that problem right then. But then once Peaceaholic closed, I ended up working for another organization working with kids, and they was from Pennsylvania somewhere, and he eventually said something about my charge, and they tried to fire me. Like, we don't want nobody. And a lot of people would have just took that on the chin. But me knowing the laws, knowing my rights and all that, I was like, can't get it right, and they wouldn't give me it. So I got a lawyer. They end up having to give me my job back, give me the back pay from the time I was out, and also end up giving me a promotion.
See that? Look at that.
But that's that education piece. A lot of us don't get it, so we just used to, okay, hey, my charge, man, let me go look for another job.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that I really talk about with them, educating, make sure I have lawyers that I can connect them to help.
Oh,
stuff
that's
like
good.
That.
Exactly. So do you get a lot of community help?
I get some community help. I get some community help.
Why do you think that you don't get as much? Because like I said, we all are affected.
Yeah. I mean, we just don't get it until, and I posted something on social media the other day, most of the people that come out and help me are people that I don't know or aren't my friends. Most of the people that call me for help or the inbox me or calling, hey, my son get ready to come home, my boyfriend, can you get him a job? Are my friends, but when it's time to come support, to show
to the
your
real
face,
deal.
instead,
To the real
and
deal.
that's just how we are a lot of times.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So how can we help?
I think this helps right here.
Right.
I think
Right.
so. If you look like on my flyer or my logo of my thing is an empowerment piece where you got the hands holding up, lifting up. It's empowerment.
Exactly.
So I think a lot of times we just gotta look and we gotta really empower these people on our own. Like a lot of times we want to wait for the government, we want to wait for all these people, we want to wait for these employers. But it's ways that we can empower each other on our own. Like I'm a homeowner, so almost everything that get done in my house is from a returned citizen. So if my grass get cut, it's a returned citizen. My fence get painted.
You putting back into the community.
And guess what happened when they started doing it? Somebody else started saying it. So my neighbor's like, Eric, who they cutting your grass? So now you cutting 5 grasses, and now you painting 6 walls.
Now you done built a business.
And so we can empower each other just off something like that. Don't go to the Google and get green thumb or whatever. No, we got a brother, get him a lawn. He got a lawnmower, he could cut this grass. And we empowering them. And guess what?
And I was going to say, and that helps because that encourages.
And guess what he gonna do? After he get a couple too many jobs, his man just came on. Man, look, I got 2 lawnmowers. I need you on that side of the street. And I'm gonna be on this side of the street.
Exactly.
So we ain't gotta always just wait. There's ways to help empower the population.
Exactly. Do you find that you have women? I mean, are women? Because we're incarcerated too.
Yeah.
We get caught up in the system.
Women over here.
Yeah.
Women, I have a beautiful sister that helped me with this and grew up with me, LaShonda. She did 18 years.
Wow.
And she's all the way in it. She's just as much in it as I am. So, and it's a lot. I had 2 women that just called me who actually I just got in the transitional employment. They've been coming to the support group. They just did 18 years as well. They've been home maybe about 2 months. And one of them, she actually broke down crying at the support group because she just never experienced this love and this support and people on the same page are trying to do the right thing. And she was like, man, look, I think I'm rough. I don't normally cry, but I got to let it out. So I definitely think, I know at one point in time the women were starting to get locked up more than the men. So their rates were going higher.
Exactly.
Wow.
So what do you say to the one that comes to the support group and they're like, look, I done tried everything. I done tried to find a job. I can't get no job. And I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't help my family. And I'm going to go back to the street.
So, and that's hard. That's hard. I see a lot of guys and they might say, hey, man, I'm here. And it's hard when I can't say, okay, don't do this because I got this for you.
Exactly.
It's hard if I can't say, put that with her, I got this. But I just tell them, my story is because, again, there's been a couple of times when it's been rough and I thought about it.
Right.
And I was like, man, I'm not going. And I thought about it. But the 2 or 3 times that I thought about it, I guess God was working for me because those situations end up collapsing. And the guys who I might have thought about dealing with end up being on the news the next day or so. And I'm like, okay, God, hold me down. And it's gonna get better. And so it got better. So it's sometimes, you just gotta pray, you just gotta have faith and just realize, man, it's gonna get better.
It is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a choice.
So doing 22 years.
Yeah.
What kept you going? That's an awfully long time.
I think with me, and a lot of people ask, how did you do it? And I don't know about option or choice. But I just think with me, I kept my head. out here. My body was in there, so I was always on top of all the stuff that was going. I think that's how when I came home, people was like, "You don't look institutionalized, or you don't look like you did
Right.
22 years." Because I was
Right.
always like, "What's going on out there? What they doing? What's the trend?" Like, okay, everybody on the stock market. Let me read the stock. So
Okay,
I got
yeah.
Bloomberg, I got Wall Street Journal, I got 10 newspapers. So when they were saying real estate, I'm reading all this real estate. When they were saying credit, I'm reading on credit. So
Awesome.
I end up getting a credit card while I was in, and had my sister have it for me. So
I was about to say, wait a minute.
No,
wait
I
a minute.
can't-
Wait a minute now. Wait a
Now
minute
you know they allow everything in there now. Y'all got Facebook.
Yeah, no, so
Twitter.
we couldn't have a credit card, but she had the credit card in my name.
Okay.
So whatever I wanted, if I was buying a girl some roses, I was like,
Any-
Sean, put it on that card and
Oh,
pay it
okay.
off. If I wanted
I
some
was about to
tennis
say,
shoes,
cut.
my newspaper, my magazine, everything I ordered. So when I came home, I already had 5 years worth of credit.
Exactly.
And so when I went
See,
to try to
that's
get my
awesome.
house, it was like I was already established. So just by me
See?
keeping my head
Awesome.
out here and just making sure I was in tune with what was going on out here.
So do you think that support meant a lot?
One, yes, for sure.
That's support
And
right
it's bad, and that's why I try to be there for a lot of them who I know don't
That don't.
have support. I got
Exactly.
buddies who've been in. I had a buddy call me yesterday, and I didn't realize too. I asked, I was like, "How long it's been?" And it's been 43 years,
Oh,
and he's still
gosh.
in. He's been in since '75. So like, I have buddies here. So imagine he doesn't have nobody out here, no family, no. Everybody did. Everybody go on the streets though, and that was another thing that was just different coming in here and seeing this cosmopolitan city now.
Right.
And,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
looking,
look,
it
way
ain't no
different.
chocolate city no more. and
No.
all this stuff. So,
But you know what? I have heard people, even classify, individuals that have been gone for decades like that, and they come home and it's almost like post-traumatic syndrome.
Yeah.
yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This trauma. It's,
Yeah.
it's scary. And then you come home, you in a halfway house, you don't have no family, you don't have no money. Then the halfway house say, okay, go ahead. You got to pass. You got to go see your PO, or you got to go look for a job. You ain't got no money. Your DC look different. You just walking down the street. You scared. You
Exactly.
got all this anxiety, and it's
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
you just like
Exactly.
yeah. So
Exactly.
that's why I say like I feel like anybody that's been locked up, you coming home with some issues. You've been damaged, and we got to try to identify that from a mental health standpoint. And it should be
Boy.
something that automatically says this
yeah.
is almost like a disability
Yes.
type thing.
It
Like,
is.
we
Yes.
got to treat
Yes.
these people. We got
Yes.
to do something.
And I say that all the time because, no doubt, I am very familiar with the situation. And I say that, and that's one thing that I was always saying is that these individuals that have done long stints away like that, there should be some type of mental evaluation before they are released
And when I say nothing
to
happens
make
to me,
sure
Oh,
that
wow.
mentally they are prepared, because it is definitely trauma.
It's trauma.
It's to come home. You're
So
it's
that's with the repeat.
anxiety, depression, all of that.
Because you'll snap. Somebody
Yes.
trigger
and
you.
only people that get any type of mental treatment and being incarcerated is people that was already diagnosed with
No,
something.
see.
Like if you was
Wow.
already on medication. But then you got to look at too, and it's even different layers of coming home, depending on where you come home from. You got people that come home from a low or camp, and then you got people that come home from a penitentiary where they've been in this place for 10, 20 years, where you look and you seeing people get their eyes knocked out their head. You go to your shower with your knife with boots on, and you don't let nobody,
Yep.
you watch
Exactly.
TV with your back up against the wall, you don't put
Exactly.
headphones. So then you come home and somebody comes up to you and say,
Oh,
hey, and you like,
Yes.
Exactly.
It's a
Exactly.
trigger.
Yeah, it's just like
Exactly.
being in
And
war.
I always say there's no way you can go through that for years and years at a time and not come home and be affected.
Yeah.
That's
There's
impossible.
no way you cannot say, no, I'm okay, I'm fine. You're not
No.
okay. There's no way you can come home and not be affected by that.
Exactly.
And you live like that, because I can remember my stepdad coming home and I'm like, why are you monitoring the phone? Why? I mean,
Right.
the things he would do, I'm like, this is not Lord.
I remember coming home and was staying with my mother, and I didn't even notice it till she said it. Like, I'd just be in the room. And she was like, you could turn on the TV.
Yeah, you can come out the room.
Right.
Like, it's just, and we never, like I said, until I came home, I was just starting to realize trauma. Never heard that word in jail used pertaining to us. And so, yeah, you got people coming home and they traumatized. And
Exactly.
they,
So is this something that you all dig into as well?
Yeah,
When it
we
comes to-
identify and we talk to it. Prior to where I work now, I worked for a mental health agency, so I got to understand it a little bit more and know how to, to understand it. And we also try to refer people to them, but we talk about it because, again, still in the black community as a whole, it's kind of taboo.
It's still taboo.
When
You're
you talk
exactly
about,
right.
man, you need to talk. We ain't talking to nobody.
I don't talk to nobody.
But, nah, you need to. Definitely, I coming out of that situation. So even when I go into prisons, I talk about it and I tell them, my story, some of the stuff I did, and realized that it was from being traumatized from incarceration. So hopefully, it's not. It's more of a popular word now. And hopefully it'll be a sexy word one day where we cool with saying it, and people cool with saying, man, I gotta go see my therapist, man, or I gotta go talk to counselor.
Exactly. So when you're having your support groups and you kind of have these type of discussions, do you find individuals that say, you know what, I've been doing that, but I didn't think anything was wrong with it?
Yeah, we had it, and we ask questions like, man, talk about an experience you had that you think, or something you've been through that you think was the effect of being incarcerated, some of your thoughts or whatever. I remember I told somebody I came home one day, I'm walking down the street and I see a piece of metal. And I'm like, dang, that'll make a nice knife right there. I'm like, man, dang, should I pick that up? Should I pick that up?
Like, boy, take that metal out your pocket.
Because, like, in jail,
hey, take it out now.
Because look, in jail, to find a piece of metal, that's like finding gold.
Right.
That's like hitting a lottery. You walk down and
you like ding ding
and
ding.
you just found a piece of metal. You like, oh man, I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah. So
and see that had I been walking with you at that time, I'd have been like,
Yeah. So, but it's real.
It's real.
And this me thinking that I had it all together, and guys telling me when I left, man, if you can't make it out there, none of us can make it. Like, you our last hope. So what about the ones who don't feel like that about them, or the ones that don't have the support, the ones that haven't had their head out here? When they come out here, they might pick it up.
Yeah.
you might catch feeling.
Next thing you know, my purse running down the street.
Yeah.
I know that's not nice. I know. I'm sorry.
One of my favorite movies is Shawshank Redemption.
I love that.
So real, and I think about the old guy that didn't want to go. He kept doing crazy stuff in there. He didn't want to make parole to leave.
Exactly.
And then when he went out there, he was in a little transition house with her, and he ended up hanging himself and killing himself because he wanted to go back in.
And that's a question that I want to ask you. Do you find yourself running into people that, like, when you're sitting down again with your support groups, do you find yourself with some individuals saying, dang, I wish I would have never left?
No, I don't think nobody has actually came out and said it, but I can see it, and I can easily see people being overwhelmed by what's out here. Because when you're in there, you know what time you're getting up, you know what time you eat, you know what time you're going to the gym.
Exactly.
So now you come out here, you got to go, you got to get a job, you got to do this, you got to do this.
Responsibility.
You got ain't no go in your room not talking, and you got all these responsibilities. You got your kids might be something. You got a female who got some requests some demands, and you just all these things coming at you from all over.
Right.
Might have lost your job, now you got to find another job.
Exactly.
Now you got to find a place to stay. Now you're trying to save up some money, but you ain't making enough. You got all it's easy. I can easily see a guy saying, "Man, I had it better in jail."
Yeah, yeah.
Where everything was just.
Was a routine. It was a routine.
Exactly. I always say that, a lot of individuals that come home, I think the last thing that they need is a relationship.
But they always find themselves in one.
They always find themselves in one, exactly. But I always say that the last thing that they need is a relationship because, for so long it's just been you. Yeah. So you have to it's so many parameters that you have to deal with coming home. And I honestly think that trying to be something for someone else when you still have to find yourself in this new world.
Mm-hmm. And I think we do need people, we do need women, but just not no one, not the demanding type situation where, you're not really taking time to understand
the situation.
Yeah, what I've been through and what I'm going through, and I'm trying to really get reacclimated in here. So for you to be talking, you're not doing this, you ain't doing
crazy. Like, look, you need to get yourself together.
I'm used to a man doing this for me.
You need to have yourself together by the time I come home from work.
Yeah, I'm used to my man doing this. I'm used to my man doing this. Yeah.
Look, you make me feel bad anyway.
No, you ain't say that to somebody.
But it can be rough. But I think even coming home, it's like people they want somebody. You know, you've been in
Right.
jail, this
Exactly.
routine around people, even though it wasn't no good, but it was somebody.
Yeah.
So the
Exactly.
first moment a person come, you like, I'm in that relationship.
Yep. You mine.
Yeah. And you find yourself there.
Right.
And you end up, impregnating them. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And you be like, now then within a month's time, now little mama got a baby.
Right. And so you're dealing with that.
Yeah, it's more
So-
drama. You add more to the plate.
But, and I've seen some guys fall into the pressure of the women that they've dealt with and went back in the street just to satisfy
Yeah.
that situation where she was like, look,
Exactly.
I'm used to this. Look, I want to go to Roof Chris tonight. I want these shoes. I want these.
Exactly.
And next thing you know, he back in the street. And then a little while later, he back in and she telling
And
that
she-
to somebody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So do you get those calls from individuals that, were out here, they, were in your support groups, they were trying to do right, next thing you know, they're back incarcerated and they're calling you on your phone like, man, look, I'm back in.
All the time. Well, not necessarily the support group, because the support group is has just started, but I've get
Right.
people that I've been trying to tell different stuff for a while, and
Exactly.
now they back in. It doesn't happen as frequently now as it does, because I think a lot of people that's in my circle kind of get what I'm doing,
Get
and
it.
I kind
Very
of, rub it off on them, so they understand now that, man, them old ways, it's not even no money out here to really just
No,
forget about this.
ain't
So
no point out here.
Yeah, we can do something different.
Exactly.
And it's just like jail. It keeps changing. One time it was lock them up, throw away the key. Then they was talking about rehabilitation. Then it was
Rehabilitation.
lock them up, throw away.
Exactly.
But rehabilitation really was a joke to me, because first you talk about, so when you talk about rehabilitation, you talk about getting somebody back to what they knew before, but these people ain't never know. So we gotta talk about habilitation before you can talk about rehabilitation. You talk about people who never knew nothing, like never
I was going to say, you need to explain that.
Yeah, it's never been no male, like even in my neighborhood, I can't think of one positive male role model in my neighborhood. The only person I may have is my uncle, who tried to teach me, and I hated him for doing it. I was so
wow.
impressed with the guys coming out there that had the little
Wow.
shoes, and they was looking slick on the
Wow.
corner. And so that's all
Exactly.
we knew. So you talk about rehabilitating, what? To that? That's the only thing you can when you talk
Yeah.
about, because I was never habilitated to know anything other than it.
Exactly. So what do you think would have helped you when you were 17?
From not going to jail.
Exactly.
Well,
like, what could somebody have put in you that would have made you say, okay, I get it now, I understand.
And I'm not even sure if it could have been something, because again, my uncle tried. He walked me, made me move with him. He was trying
okay.
do all those things. It was just so much being caught up in that glitz and that glamour of the streets. It's hard, just like now with all these things on TV and these
Social
videos
media.
and all
You're
this
right.
stuff.
You're
So
right. You're right.
they raising our kids. So it's hard sometimes, as you got to go through it to really get it. And I'm hoping that, the times have changed now, where we're in a better situation. We have more opportunities now, where you don't see too many people just struggling as much. We making a little bit money,
Yeah, a little
women
bit
more
more.
liberated, and
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just think just education, though, just
Exactly.
education, not just education, but just on the world education.
Yeah.
Like we
Wow.
gotta. Yeah,
So
we
do
got-
you think it needs to start in the prison system, though?
for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
I think it needs to start in the schools before they even get to
yeah.
before they
Yeah.
get to
Because
that.
that was going to be my next question to you, is that, do you find yourself reaching out to like the younger generation, and how receptive are they to the information that you're trying to give them?
So they're very. I think with them, they're more acceptive of it, because they mainly when you tell your story. So because they so fascinated by something, if they can go and Google some old picture or something and find out you.
Right.
And they got this thing now they doing called credible messenger, whereas credible people that had the street creed, and they the ones being like the mentors to these youngers, the ones. So and they
That's
more
very good.
yeah, they more acceptive of that than somebody just coming
Yeah.
and saying, hey, I read this book, and so no, you shouldn't do that.
Right.
As
Yeah.
opposed to
They
somebody
want to.
saying,
They
"Look."
want to know
want
that
the
you've been
real.
through this, right?
And mainly
Exactly.
when you can go and you go see them, and you go in their neighborhood, and there's some old people that might was there when you was there. They were like, "Hey, Eric, oh baby, oh yeah, this is my little nephew." Or I know
Exactly.
your father, I know your uncle, and all
Exactly.
that. So they that's definitely the way to do it.
And I'm sure that's a good feeling to know
Yeah.
that you can touch
Yeah.
someone with your story. You know, not saying or glamorizing it, but just letting
the
them know, hey,
truth.
look, I was there. This is where I ended up, but I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This has been great. So how can people reach out to you if they want to help with the support group and with your cause and everything that you're doing? How can they reach out to you?
So I'm all over Facebook, Instagram. Website is naarcdc.com. Facebook page, National Association for the Vastly Returned Citizens. And just, I mean, from word of mouth, I'm always out there spreading the word on everything. If I'm not doing this, I'm putting on events, I'm feeding the homeless, I'm getting ready to do a clothes drive for the halfway houses.
When is that?
We haven't had a date yet, but it's probably going to be in April.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
July, I know the last Saturday of every July, we do a big cookout down Randall Field down Southwest where returned citizens play against the police and softball. And
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
and
And
we-
this is something that you put on?
Yeah, I put
That's
on every
awesome.
year. It's
Awesome.
normally broadcast live, Sam 4 Channel 7. Normally they
Oh, wow.
broadcast
Oh,
with the
awesome.
post on.
And UStyle Magazine will be there this year.
Yeah, we need you there.
Yes.
And there's plenty of
We're
stuff
there.
for the kids. It's horses, it's moon bounces, it's bad. I think we had What
Awesome.
Band last year, and that show we went this year. So.
Go down there deep and feet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And are you taking volunteers as far as with everything? You know,
Yeah,
the organization,
for
everything.
sure. So I think that's important that, that's something else we could do is volunteer. A lot of times people think, I want to volunteer for the homeless, or I want to volunteer for the kids. Now,
Right.
volunteer for returned citizens, they need it
Citizens,
just as much. They need
Exactly.
mentors just like everybody
That's
else.
right. Yep,
So
exactly.
that's a good thing. Adopt a returned citizen as far as being a mentor, or if you got a business, hire a returned citizen, or if you know.
What's the process like
Amazing.
far
to
as-
go through? Like, so say if somebody reaching out and say, hey, I want to be a volunteer. What do they need to do?
With me, it's just come. It's informal. You just come and you start sitting in the support groups. You might
Okay.
just see somebody that you feel like you want. You might see a female that just came home and she's
Okay.
struggling
Right,
or whatever, and you just
exactly. I
you just
like that.
I
bond.
would love to be involved.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, you'd be perfect.
Yeah.
She's amazing. You'd be perfect.
Yeah. I would like that.
Awesome. So you said they can reach you on all of your social media
Yeah.
outlets.
Yeah, and yes, and the website.
Perfect. Well, this has been awesome. You
Awesome,
gave me,
you
yeah, I
guys.
enjoyed this. Very informative. So thank you for coming.
I'm glad
Yeah,
you all
thank you
had
for
me. I'm
coming.
found
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
been amazing. I called you and you was right on it.
I
Yes.
wanted to say one more thing because
Yes.
me and Tony Lewis, I'm sure you probably heard of
Yes,
Tony Lewis.
yes.
So we'll get ready to push this new thing, and I actually think it's on the shirt right here.
Okay.
And it's I'm a citizen.
Okay,
I'm a
great.
citizen.
Great.
So the thing is, we've been being a returned citizen for these last few years, and I like analogy. So if you got a kid, your kid does something wrong, you punish your kid, take the Xbox, put them in a room, right?
Right.
When they come back, after you say, okay, you're 7 days up, they not your returning kid. They your kid all over again.
Right.
You love them, they got all their rights, you stored all that. So that's the same thing we got to do with return citizens. That's why I'm going to call them a return citizen. We did our
Exactly.
crime, we did our time, we back out. So instead of being returned citizens, we want to be
This is my
citizens.
brother. This is my
Yeah,
sister.
we
This,
want
is
to
my,
be
this is
citizens
my
and
child.
give me all my
Yeah.
rights back. I don't want to have to answer this question when I get a job. I don't want to have to do this. Look, I paid my.
You paid your dues.
Yeah, so I want to
Exactly.
be a citizen. I don't want to be a returned citizen. And that's the only way I think, and that's the best and the biggest way that we can really help this population if we stop making them returned citizens. Like, you did your
make 'em
time, okay? So, yeah.
Exactly. And so you and Tony are working?
Yeah,
This
we
is
get
what you-
ready. We putting something out, man.
Amazing.
We in the process of doing a video and everything for this.
Excellent.
stuff.
Well, just know that once you guys get it all together, you're always welcome to come back,
back.
here so we can get the word out.
Appreciate
and
it.
Definitely let everybody know what you guys are doing so we can get all of the help you need.
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely would, and I appreciate you all
Awesome.
letting me come. It's always good to get the word out.
Yes,
I mean,
Yes.
I
definitely.
think this is, I was excited to come because I think it's time for us to start just getting this word out, getting more
Exactly.
people. A lot of people don't know, so if you don't know, you know.
You know
And I
now.
say, one of the things I always say, we always see and know things ain't right, but now it's time to put your thoughts and your actions together. Like,
Exactly. And fix it.
yeah.
And fix it. I agree. So again, thank you again for coming and
I
sitting with us.
appreciate
Yes.
you.
Giving us all this good information.
All of it.
I
You guys
appreciate
make
you,
sure-
two lovely ladies, making me
Thank
look
you.
good, standing in front of y'all.
See, we trained them well. We briefed them before all of this
Yeah, we
started.
raised them.
Well, thank you, you guys. I hope you all were just as entertained as we were. Some great information that was passed along. Make sure that you reach out to him, his organization, giving him all of the support he needs, all of the help, mentors, volunteering, everything that he needs to kind of help get our community together. So we thank you for tuning in. This is your girl, Bridget, and your girl,
Lonnie.
Alrighty. We'll see you again next week, same time, same station. UStyle Magazine Talk Radio over here at WLVS. Listen Vision.
Bye-bye.